few minutes, so I do want to make sure y'all know I brought business cards for Midlands Tech, so if you ever need anything, please make sure you grab one of those and contact me either by phone or email. You know, I couldn't help but think about our first speaker talking about vibe and tribe, and hearing Nadia speak of you know, being grateful, and then having Mary bring up the rear saying, hey, we've got to change from the inside to reflect the outside. And that's what I got from Mary's message. And when we think about building quality relationships, I want y'all to think about that this really starts with you first. And sometimes building relationships is difficult because where we came from and our own insecurities and vulnerabilities, what I call it, we get in our own way because of these things. And so I want y'all to think about what it is that you can do to change from the inside to reflect on the outside. Because it's going to start with you. And, you know, Hameen and Dolores and Jerry, we've all talked about what does it really mean to build quality relationships, and how do you begin to do this. I've got a few notes here because I wanted to try and stay on task. Because how many minutes do I have? You need a flag. Okay. You know, when you think about building quality relationships, I want you to think about this on a personal level and a professional level. You are who you are. You cannot divide yourself personally and professionally. You are who you are. And so when you're building these relationships, you've got to understand that. You cannot be who you are in one venue and be someone else in another venue. You have to be true to yourself. And so when you're thinking about your relationships, think about this on a personal and professional level. A couple things that requires you to do. You've got to be open to others around you. You know, a lot of times we're the ones that get in our own way. People are there wanting to be there for us and get to know us. We stop that through our own insecurities and vulnerabilities. So, you know, be open to others. But being open to others, we have to be open. Our body language has to be open. Our approach has to be open. It's not just that they're open and they're out here and they're looking. We have to do those things. Because if we don't recognize them. We don't see it. We go, well, you know, and I'll tell you, I've learned, you know, I'm going to give kudos to Mary here because Mary has not only been my mentor. I met her in 1999. I started working for her. But she has been my sponsor. Wow. Meaning, mentor guides you. A sponsor opens doors for you. Right. Yeah. Relationships, when you build them, will develop into sponsorship relationships. That's what you want. But it starts with you first. Because no one's going to open their doors or open their contacts or do anything for you until you show some things that you are worthy of those things. And so that's kind of some tips I'm going to talk about. Some things you've got to do. You've got to step outside of your comfort zone. You got to try new things. You got to go to new places. You know, give me your name.
It's Gabrielle.
Gabrielle mentioned that. Stepping out, doing things a little differently. Talk with people who are different from you, that look different from you. Y'all, we tend to migrate to who we look like. And let me tell you the problem with that is we've got our own biases and our own stereotypes, and all of that is crap. When you meet people for who they are, when you meet people for the heart of the person, you don't see those things anymore. You know, even I have to force myself when I go into groups, I have to go, because I have my own insecurities. I have to go, you know, Michelle, I tend to go where I'm comfortable with. I tend to go with who looks like me. And I have to force myself sometimes to go, no, Michelle, you're not going to do that today. You're going to sit with someone you don't know. You're going to talk with someone you don't know. You're going to get to know them. Because you're not going to build relationships until you get to know them. Until they get to know you. Until they get to know what your struggles are and you're vulnerable. You know, we're vulnerable. But if we don't let any of that be seen, they don't see who we really are as a person. But we've got to step outside. We've got to meet people who are different than we are. You will be surprised who you will meet, where you will meet them. You will be surprised. how you both can learn from each other. You know, building relationships require us to be honest with ourselves. What are our good qualities and what are the things we need to work on and what are we going to do about it? We need to be honest with our insecurities, with our vulnerabilities. We need to be honest again with our body language. Are we coming across open? Are we coming across closed? Am I walking and I'm going, hello? Do I have a welcoming facial expression? Or do I got one, don't come near me? I'm not having a good day. No, we have to project who we want. And it starts with us. We need to be honest that not all relationships are good for us. Y'all, some of your family you need to kick to the curb. Right? Now, I know families we can't necessarily kick off family to the curb, but y'all can distance yourselves. If they're not helping you achieve what you need to achieve, you need to move them on. You know what's coming out their mouth, if it's real or not, in terms of for you or against you. Instead, we take it instead of doing something about that. So think about the relationships that you need to kick to the curb, and then those that you need to distance yourself from, and those you need to build. Because the ones you want to build are the ones that have your best interest at heart. Okay? We need to learn to love ourselves enough to make choices and decisions that are based on what we need and what we want. We need to love ourselves. The relationship starts with us. It requires being honest with what we see from those around us. You know, I always say, I'm a Christian, and I agree. We all have, most of us have a higher God, a higher power. And one of the things that I always say is, you shall know them by their fruits.
Yes.
Y'all, if people's fruits aren't good, you need to move on.
That's right.
Know them by their fruit. Know what fruit you expect. And if you're not getting that fruit, and you're not seeing that fruit, then maybe you need to move on from that and surround yourself, change your vibe, change your tribe, because it's all about, what are you going to do about that? If you see something that you need to change, you need to change it starting with you. Real quick, elements of a healthy relationship: mutual respect, honesty, support, fairness and equality, separate identities. Now, ladies, I appreciate what Hameen said earlier. Ladies, we tend to be really hard on women. We've crab mentality. How dare she come in there looking with that same dress I had on, that I got on. I wonder which one of us looks better. Instead of, girl, you got good taste. We're wearing the same outfit. No, we sit there and we criticize. We need to stop that. We're not crabs in a bucket. We're not pulling people down.
That's right.
We need to lift people up. So think about our separate identities and think about what each person brings that is special. Think about good communication. We got to have humor in our relationships. We got to laugh. Got to laugh at ourselves, y'all. We can be rather, we can either cry or laugh. Let's choose to laugh. And trust. Trust is the bottom line to your relationships. The bottom line. There's a couple things that make up trust. I'm going to close it out on this. The core elements are sincerity, reliability, compassion, and competence. Now, sincerity. When you know someone is sincere, when you know they're sincere, you know it. Do you know what I mean? When you know they really are sincere, you don't care what they look like. You don't care where they come from. You just know that their heart is really sincere. They really are wanting this. They're wanting to help. They're doing these things. So really view the sincerity of someone, because if you don't have sincerity and you're not reflecting that sincerity and you're not saying that sincerity, then that's a big piece of your trust. Do you mean what you say and say what you mean? Are you genuine in your communication? Are you being real? Do people know they can count on you to speak the truth? You know what I love about Mary Rawls again? She speaks the truth.
That's right.
Now, I may not like the truth sometimes, but she speaks the truth. And when you know someone speaks the truth, even though they say something you may not like, you know that they're saying that because they care about you. They sincerely care about you. It's easier to just say, it's okay, you're good. No problem. That's the easy road. Hard road is when you get up in someone's face and you go, I don't think that's the best thing for you. This is why. Sincerity is the most difficult element to repair when damaged. So sincerity is, I really do care about what's going on in your life. I show compassion, which is another element. Meaning, if I'm just so concerned that I'm not asking you about your mother, or I don't ask Nadia how she's doing, or when she was going through cancer, really acknowledge, how are you doing, Nadia? I mean, no, I'm not concerned about those elements. I'm concerned about other things. I'm not sincere with her. I'm not showing compassion to her. We have to show compassion to others, and we have to recognize that if people aren't showing compassion to us, that's probably not somebody we need to be aligning ourselves with. How much you think someone cares about you and what you care about. In other words, if it really is important to you, they're going to acknowledge those things, and you need to not. So stop and ask people, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. Tell me how your mom's doing. Tell me how your baby's doing. Really be sincere about that. Along with trust is being reliable. People have to know that you can follow through and that you do the things that you say you're going to do. And y'all ladies, don't overextend yourselves. If you can't do it, don't do it. Learn how to say no. I tell my students all the time, okay, I'm going to teach y'all this right now. It's called the 24-hour rule. You do not say yes to anyone that asks you from something from you. You just say, you know what, I'll let you know tomorrow. I'll get back with you tomorrow. That's called the 24-hour rule. You don't say yes. You don't say no. You say, I'll get back with you. Now, if you say you're going to get back with them, what do? You get back with them. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you go and you say, you know what, Mary, I gave that some thought. I'm not able to help you with that. It's not that I don't want to help you, but I got a lot on my plate. Who am I putting first? Myself. If I do not put the life raft around myself, I will drown. Okay? Now, by the same token, maybe I really do want to help Mary. Mary, I can't help you today, but I could help you next week. Well, if Mary goes, well, Michelle, I need you today. Well, Mary, I'm sorry, I can't help you today.
And she's done that, by the way.
Okay, you better learn with Mary. She'll be passing all kind of stuff to you. But she will. And I love her for that. But my point is you've got to learn what your boundaries are and how they affect you. And if you overextend yourself and you tell people you will do things and you don't do it, or you half, excuse my language, children, ASS do it, people see that and it's not showing. The trust is being broken down because you are not following through with what you say you're going to follow through with. You're not being reliable. So you've got to be reliable. And so learn to say no. Okay, so if I ask y'all, hey, will you help me with this? What are you going to tell me?
We'll get
back with you tomorrow. And then let me tell you, let me, and I'm going to close with this. After you say yes, and my daddy's been dead for 30-something years, he used to call it diarrhea of the mouth. We'd go, well, can you help me? Oh, yeah, I can help you. And 10 minutes later, I'm going, dang, what in the world did I just commit to? I do not have time. So it won't even take you 24 hours to realize if this is really good for you in terms of being good for you, your family, establishing your goals and things. Because ladies, that's what it's all about. And gentlemen, it's about, we can still help other people, but in building relationships, we have to help ourselves first. And then we're able to throw the life raft out and help other people. And so the last point is competence. We got to have the skills and all that we need. And so do what you've got to do to get the skills and all that you need. Go back to school, learn certain things that you can do. Do what you've got to do. And the key to building relationships is that trust piece. And really work on that within yourselves and work on that with what you see in other people. And I'm going to close on that note.
I got a few things out of that as well. I always see anytime we're active listeners, we can extract things in which we need from the conversations, from the discussions, correct? One thing I got was know yourself. Know your boundaries and work on your strengths, right? Work on your strengths. But those are a couple of things that I got, and it made me think back to an African history lesson that I had one time. And there was a man, his name was Amenhotep, and he built what was called the Temple of Luxor. A lot of times we think Plato's Academy was the first university, but of course a lot of times people don't want to give certain accolades to a certain group of people. So, but the first university, library, and religious place of worship was the Temple of Luxor. And the Menetus, which is translated in Greek hieroglyphics, on the wall before you walked in, it said, "Know thyself." That's what we all heard, "know thyself." That's where that term comes from. So I thought about that as she was speaking. I also thought about, of course, your strengths. I thought about integrity and honesty. Me and Dr. Rawls, we talked one day, and I was telling her the legacy that I wanted to leave, and she said, "Well, I mean, my legacy, the legacy I want to leave is that people say she had integrity." That's right. That was so profound. Also, how many of us know Dr. Rawls in here, right quick? Most of us know Dr. Rawls, some of us don't. I just want to let you know the reason why every speaker is talking about Dr. Rawls. The reason why and I know you're probably like, wow, what is this? Well, just let me say this. She's empowered, helped so many people.
Right.
She's touched so many lives, including my own. She's touched so many lives. She is a woman who cares. And this is why everybody's bringing Dr. Rawls' name up. Matter of fact, I call her the Mother Teresa of Colombia. And I'm sincere. I'm sincere with that. Because if it's something positive and progressive, there's nothing that she will not do. There's no end to what she will do for positive and progressive things. So I just wanted you all to understand why everybody's, she's not the Duchess of Sussex, but did I say that correctly? Sussex? Meghan Markle? Whatever. Sounds good to me. But that's why everybody's giving her accolades, and plus after over 20 years of service, she's actually retired. I see on Facebook watching the deers and everything, and congratulations, Doc, you deserve every bit of it. So, now we're going to do something a little fun. Oh, clap, yeah. Now we're going to slow the tempo and do something a little fun. Who in here think that they're smarter than a fifth grader? Anybody?
Not these days.
We don't got nobody smarter than a fifth grader. Maybe we start. He's smarter than a fifth grader. Come on up here, young brother. No, you don't want to come up? Okay. Good, because I got my questions lined up for adults. But I was going to have a child's question just for you. Would anybody like to volunteer to come up here and answer a couple
They have to
questions?
assign.
I might got to call on some people. Come on up here. Tamara. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you good.
You'll be next. Come on up here, Tamara. Tamara also worked for Mills Technical College, the man's technical college in South Carolina. All right, Tamara. You have to answer correctly 3 out of 5 questions, and you win one of those beautiful oil burning lamps over there.
Yes.
All right? Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Can you handle it?
I think.
Can you handle the rodeo?
Yes,
bird?
I can.
Are you smarter than a fifth grader?
Yes. I would hope.
Okay.
Okay.
Tamara, who was the female artist who sang the smash hit, Hello?
Adele.
Adele, you
My undergrad is in music, guys, so.
Okay. What American woman was a U.S. Senator, Secretary of State, and First Lady?
Oh,
Hillary.
Come on now.
Michelle Obama.
That's not a part of the rules. We don't have lifelines. So I got to ask another question. But we don't have lifelines in here.
Hillary.
No. Too late. No.
We're helping each
You
other.
gotta whisper it like lower.
Ain't no help over here at this point.
Isn't there like an after?
You lost this one. You lost this one.
I didn't lose this. You know why I didn't lose this one? Because I bought the ramps. I made the questions, and I played the game. That's a part of autonomy, self-actualization. So, here we go. Here we go. The theme of this Women's Initiative and Resource Fair is I'm Every Woman.
Okay.
The song by Whitney Houston. Who was the first person to make that song?
Really?
Come on now. Y'all stop. I said. Come on now. You just said, I heard you see her.
You know, nobody said Shaka Khan.
I'll give it to her. I'm
I
going to
said
give it to her.
Shaka Khan. I remember the music video.
There you are. But I'm going to make it perfectly clear from this part forward again.
You didn't give directions.
I just know. Well, I thought that since we're all a bunch of adults, maybe these two young men will blur something out of here, but I didn't think that everybody else would. Just kidding. Y'all know I just like to bring the energy. And I'm confrontational sometimes, and sometimes it takes being confrontational, right? Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being confrontational as long as you're respectful about it. That's right. Right? That's right. So,
It's carefrontational. Carefrontation.
confrontation, tomato tomorrow, right? I